Alright, hello everybody, welcome to the Witchwood Houndmaster guide. Houndmaster Shaw here, pretty much the Witchwood version of a hunter. And we're up against Gobbles first, so we're a hunter and we're playing against a beast. That should work out nicely. Precisely what we are meant to do, we hunt. Anyways, we got a pretty nice hand here, 1, 2, 3, even though that has echo, so we might not, play that right on turn 2, but... and just to quickly take a look at our hero power with this character, we have a Dog Whistle. For 2 mana, we summon a 1/1 Bloodhound with Rush. So just to kind of illustrate how this might work, we summon a Hound, and we can do stuff like that, that the other Witchwood characters wouldn't be able to do. Obviously that was not the best thing to do in that scenario, I'm just kind of demonstrating the hero power there. However, with this board, our hero power may actually come in handy here. Go ahead and take out that 2 attack minion and turn. It's also nice because we are summoning beasts, which we can then kill command for 5 damage. And we can also, quickly summon something that we can use with Houndmaster, so there's quite a bit of synergy here. Go ahead and drop Fury Bat along with Unleash the Hounds. And let's just start going face, as that is, as you may have heard in my previous guides, the best thing to do on turn 1 is go ahead and go face. He summons a bunch of stuff, so we should probably try to end the game next turn, or we are going to have to look to clear the board. But luckily, I do see a way that we can deal lethal damage on this turn, using our kill command for 5 damage, and 1 and 2. Gobbles is defeated. Round 1 extremely easy, but a difficulty spike is on the way. After we defeat Gobbles though, it is time to pick a treasure and some loot. Bloodhounds have +2 attack, definitely makes our hero power much better. First aid kit is kind of because a lot of our minions only have 1 HP, so you probably don't want first aid kit. Entrenchment is quite nice because it'll affect not only Bloodhounds, but the rest of our minions. Let's go ahead and take Entrenchment. As far as loot goes, we have Thick Hide, Earthen Scales, Nesting Rock. Okay. We have Companions, +2/+2, and then we get to draw a card. Knight of the Wild, whenever you summon a beast, reduce the cost of this card by 1. So eventually this will be 0 mana, 6/6. Pretty nice. And Kathrina Winter Wisp, which will Battlecry and Death Rattle recruit a beast, which, could turn into a nice card if we pick up some, large high mana beasts down the road, such as these. We have Jungle Giants, which is a quest, and then 2 large minions. So just for fun, and of course, Hearthstone is a game, Witchwood is a solo adventure, we should be prioritizing fun and just kind of avoiding the things that are really, really bad, because you can win with, almost any path you go down if you play correctly. Let's go ahead and take the quest, as I think it'll make for the most enjoyable, entertaining kind of run here. We're up against this weird little shaman hex taunting thing up for our second round. The hero power of our opponent costs 2 mana, and it is indeed effectively a hex. It will transform any of our minions into a 0/1 frog with taunt. So we definitely want to be careful about playing, large minions for high mana, because they're probably just going to get hexed out anyway. I don't believe that there even is a way for us to complete Jungle Giants. We don't even have 5 minions with 5 or more attacks, so let's go ahead and throw that back for now, but when we pick up more cards after defeating Griselda, we should be able to use the quest in our third match. Alright, turn 1, we can do this, summon a 1/1. It'll probably just get hexed anyway, so let's go ahead and end turn without doing so. He only had 1 mana, so that was a bit of a derp there. We could have definitely used this, and then we would have been able to get a nice 2 damage in there, but not a huge deal. Let's go ahead and use our hero power, just because we don't want this to get hexed without being able to do anything. And as you see, the hero power comes out, transforms our minion, usually into a 0/1 frog with taunt, but our good old Entrenchment passive makes it a 0/3 frog with taunt, which he may actually have difficulty going through. We'll have to see. Anyways, let's go ahead and adapt a beast. Hopefully we get some attack, and we do not. I suppose Divine Shield will help it live for as long as possible. and go ahead and play this as well. He can only hero power one of these minions, so we should be able to start getting damage in. Okay. And with Entrenchment, this is actually a really interesting game. We should just be able to make use of these taunts and kind of hide behind them. I never really thought about how good Entrenchment would be against this hero passive. It's going to take us a while to do enough damage, but even still. So to quickly recap there, as I try to do whenever they play several cards quickly or just do anything generally considered crazy, we see a Witch's Kiss followed by a quick Frostbolt, effectively taking that minion out and making it so our Houndmaster cannot attack. Not the craziest thing ever, but certainly on the annoying side. Let's go ahead and save this for when we can play even more of them. Let's go ahead and drop our Swamp Leech, Hero Power, and that gives us 6 minions, so let's go ahead and make that 7 and attack. The only problematic thing here is that now we have 7 minions on board and they're going to be slowly transformed into 0/1 frogs with taunts. The annoying thing could eventually be to have 7 frogs and no damage, so we do have to be careful for that. Let's just go ahead and drop this while it has 8 attack. It's almost certainly going to be Hex next turn, but it's just kind of a slow, boring match, and my commentary probably isn't helping. There's not much to say. He's just going to keep hexing our minions. He's barely playing anything. Luckily though, he made I was going to say he made a really bad mistake and didn't hex that, but he had another solution in mind. We are close to lethal. We have 4 and 5, so we're almost there. If we go ahead and play this for just another dog, we have 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 takes out Griselda. Alright, and it is time to pick up some more loot. We're looking for some high attack cards so that we can use our quest, which is to play 5 minions with 5 or more attack. How many of these minions have 5 or more attack? None of them. Probably not looking over there. 5 attack, 5 attack, 8 attack, and it has the same title, so they probably go together. Almost definitely picking this one. Not 5 attack, that's a spell, and that is 5 attack, but this is for if you wanted to play a bunch of little minions, and we're trying to do the exact opposite, so we are indeed going to stomp, stomp, stomp! And onto our third challenge, the Cultist. Alright, so now we hop into our third challenge, the Cultist. And I believe we should have just enough minions to actually use Jungle Giants now. Once we actually get the reward from it, it won't, really be all that great. But just to make sure that we don't fall too far behind in the early game, I am going to send that back. We don't have that many cards in our deck anyways, so I'm sure we'll see it by the time we need it. Entrenchment passive, of course, and let's start off by checking what our opponent's hero power is. Poisoned Drink. Whenever a player draws a card, deal 1 damage to them. So he probably has cards that make us draw cards, something to be cautious of, and this will affect him as well, so rushing him down, doing a lot of damage is a possibility. He only started out with 5 more health than we did, so definitely something to think about. In light of that, I'm going to go ahead and use On the Hunt first, just so we can start getting some damage in there. We don't have any 5 attack minions yet anyway, so we don't always have to play Jungle Giants first. Even as we build our deck, it's not mandatory to use first. This card is just an Icky Tentacle. Nothing to really note here. We could trade, but once again, I think that rushing him down, doing a lot of damage, just so if we were to each draw 1 card, he would still die before we did, is a good strategy here. We can go ahead and summon the Hound, and let's see here. Since the Hound can't attack heroes anyway, we might as well trade, but we are going to keep going face as much as possible. And he chooses to play nothing with 2 mana. And let's see here. Go ahead and drop Swamp Leech in addition to another Hound. Now our Hound can attack heroes on his second turn being alive, so we do so. And he still has more HP than us, but not for long. And then the Lifesteal comes out so that he can avoid dying before we do. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to kill this in only 1 attack, so he will be healing for at least 6 health, which puts him almost back up to full, unfortunately. In light of that, let's just go ahead and play as many minions as we can, and we're going to take it out as efficiently as possible. We don't want to really do this because that would, serve to kill this minion, and we want to keep it alive so that we can keep life stealing. Additionally, these can attack heroes anyway, so let's use our rush. And then this has 2 attack, this has 1 attack, so we are going to go ahead and do that just so we can have more damage, stay alive on board. And then we're going to go face with everything else. Lifesteal of course works even if we hit characters, so while he did manage to lifesteal twice, in theory we can lifesteal for a very long time. But he takes out our minion just as I'm saying that. He follows up with a Bladed Cultist because he played another card before it. Its combo activates and he is now a 2/3 minion. Once again, not something that we can kill in only 1 attack. It doesn't have lifesteal though, so I'm not even really too concerned with killing it. Let's go ahead and hero power in addition to kill commanding to the face. And attack with everything we have. This guy only has rush, not charge, so we can't do anything with him. We could have attacked his minion, but let's just try to rush our opponent down. Okay, he's also choosing to go face, so we definitely have to be careful that we don't suddenly lose unexpectedly. He has 6 damage plus 2, which is 8 damage on board, and we're about to draw another card for a total of 9 that would still leave us with 5 HP. That's a pretty comfortable amount. It looks like he has a rogue type deck, so Eviscerate would deal 4 damage, and it's probably not a situation where we have to be too concerned about clearing his minions. On top of that, we have 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5 damage on board. Is there any way for us to deal 4 more damage? Unfortunately not. Let's go ahead and play... Let's do as much damage as possible. Unleash the Hounds. We now have 7 minions. And do we want to trade with at least one of these, just so we can hero power? Killing this 4/4 would require a lot of cards, and... I think trading with one is appropriate, just so we can clear out a little bit of room. And really make sure that we don't die. The only downside to that is, we didn't actually have a low enough HP to die to that, because all of our minions have 3 HP thanks to Entrenchment, so... oh, but he helps us out there and clears out some room, so we will be able to Swift Messenger next turn. He's left with only 3 health remaining though, and he's about to take 1 damage. Not to mention we have lethal this turn, so enough rambling. Let's just go ahead and finish Cultist off. A rather easy opponent, honestly. You can kind of see the point behind his deck, but we were able to outrush him. That is our 3rd opponent down, and it is time to pick out another treasure. Let's go ahead and see what our 3 options are. Royal Gift, which is okay for Houndmaster. It's relatively easy for us to get 7 minions on board and then really buff one up to be really strong. We have Princess, a 5-drop minion, which will gain the death rattle of 3 random minions in our deck. So let's go ahead and check out what death rattles we have. We only have 1 death rattle at this time, so as we build our deck this might come in handy. Or we have Brass Lantern. Discover a copy of a card in your deck, repeat this 2 more times. This could be helpful with, proccing our quest really early. I want to go ahead and go Brass Lantern. I think if we didn't have the quest, this wouldn't be a very good card, and we'd probably opt for Royal Gift. But let's go ahead and take Lantern in this case. And we have some more options. That's a spell, Deadly Shot, destroy a random minion, and Nourish, which would be helpful for getting the mana crystals to actually have enough mana to play those 5-attack minions, but having enough 5-attack minions to play is definitely a consideration. None of these have 5-attack, and we have an opportunity to pick Stomp, Stomp, Stomp again. It's also important to have really high static cards, so that once they, are only 0 mana to play, they actually are strong cards. Imagine if we just kept playing a bunch of 0 mana Swamp Leeches. Not really that effective. Definitely taking Stomp, Stomp, Stomp. Alright, we are up against the Grum. And let's definitely keep our quest this time. We should be able to make use of it. But once again, by the time we draw these cards, we should have enough mana to use them. So let's go ahead and put them back for now. And we draw some much more appropriate, slightly lower mana cards. Perfect. Our passive takes effect and the game is on. This is our only 1-drop, so we are definitely going to play it and end our turn. And our opponent passes as well, doesn't have any 1-drops. Let's quickly check what the hero power does. Terrify, shuffle a minion into its owner's deck, it costs 4 less. Definitely something to keep in mind. Let's hero power and end turn here. Okay, sparring partner, very interesting. Let's see what this card does. It's a 2-drop, 3 and 2, so pretty nice stats. It has taunt, and as a battle cry, it gives a minion taunt. So it gave us taunt. Quite nice, quite nice. I don't really want to use kill command on a minion like this just to try to push 1 damage through. Let's actually use Razormaw and see if we can do something about this. We have Divine Shield or Wind Fury. Wind Fury won't work because it'll die on the first attack. Divine Shield could kind of work, you know? It would enable this trade to happen. Or we can Death Rattle summon 2/1/1 plants. Decisions. Kind of like the idea of Divine Shield a little bit more, just to make this trade happen smoothly. It would basically be a hero power minion for a 2-drop, so it's quite alright. Oh, he hits us with the crush. Okay. At least he didn't crush one of our, very strong minions, so that's good. Crush is a card that, because he had a damage minion, it's really cheap, and he can just destroy a minion outright. This is now 2 and 8, and I think I may prefer to play it when it is 8 and 2. So in light of that, we're just going to hero power and end turn. Playing this on curve would have also been a viable, thing to do, but I want to try to play it when it is 8 and 2. He uses his hero power on curve, 4 mana, to send that. That was just a hero power minion back into our deck, so no big deal there. And now this is indeed 8 and 2, so let's go ahead and drop it. And it's likely just getting hero powered back. No. He's opting to slam, which does kill our minion, but it does not let him draw a card because it did die. On to our turn. I see a great way to be able to play on curve. We go ahead and hero power, and then Houndmaster. Luckily he does not hero power our buffed minions, so we are dealing with a 4-drop Arcane Nullifier, taunt, and can't be targeted by spells. It has 5 HP and 2 attacks, so our minions wouldn't die if we attacked it, but it would require us to attack it twice. Is there anything else we could do? Once again, we can't kill command it, can't be targeted. That would be nice though. We could use our hero power and then do this and push 3 damage. That's interesting. I think I prefer to do that, yes. And then let's go ahead and kill command face just to use up some of our mana here and end turn. Clockwork Giant on curve. It just happened to cost 7 mana, so now we're looking at an 8/8. Go ahead and drop this guy for the time being, and let's just go face as their HP is getting quite low. There's a chance he could hero power our taunt and push 8 damage, but he actually chooses to play it the other way around and clear our minion and then send our huge minion back in. That is helpful to us in a way, in the sense that we can now summon it again and try to finish up our quest here, which is 2 out of 5 completion. Looking at his HP though, the game may be over by the time we complete our quest. So playing King Crush and going face is my favorite option, but it is a bit scary about the 3-drop he played, 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy. Oh, I was mistaken. Sorry, so there are 2 very similar cards. One is that just this brute has a 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy, which is obviously what we see here. There's another card that the name escapes me right now, but it causes every minion to have a chance to attack the wrong enemy. My apologies. In light of that, we can take out the 8-drop and then go face. We were so close to lethal. If you're wondering why I didn't just go face with everything, we had 4 and 1, which would have been 5, leaving him with 1 HP. Felt it was a little bit safer to clear board. Obviously though, we now have lethal to the face with King Crush, and that is that. Alright, so time to choose some loot again. Companions, that is 5 attack, but these are each 4 attack, so that's kinda helpful to our quest, but I'm not too keen on it. Let's check out Unwavering. Really good for Death Rattle minions. So if we would have went for, I believe the card's name was Princess, that would have grabbed the Death Rattle effect of 3 minions in our deck. This would probably be the path we'd be going down, but we really only have that 1 Death Rattle, so Unwavering doesn't do too much for us. Lastly, we have Unload. Each time you cast a spell this turn, add a random hunter card to your hand, and Quick Shot. Our hand will very rarely be empty, seeing as how we have such high mana cards, so we can't really make use of this. We're going to go ahead and opt for Companions. Alright then, into our 5th match against the Ratcatcher. Look what the dogs dug up.
I always did have a good nose for catching rats.
Good nose for catching rats? You implying that I'm a rat? I pretty much hunt rats, so kind of a common misconception over there. Oh, never mind. He is the rat catcher, so that's probably what he means. Alright, so for 2 mana, really all we can do is go like this, make that trade happen. And because of Entrenchment, we can actually use this to kill off several of those. And he's choosing to go face, so let's just be aware that he is prioritizing hitting me in the face. Let's quickly check out what his hero power is. Cannibalism, passive. Whenever a minion dies, give the adjacent minions +1 attack. Because of the way that that's worded, that will affect my minions as well. So considering that we have Entrenchment, this will actually probably benefit me almost more than it will him. Let's see what I mean by that. First, let's check what Brass Lantern gives us. Anything with more than 5 attack. In this case, I think I'll grab Swift Messenger. Now we can do it again. King Crush is a very high mana card, but a little bit better than Volcanosaur usually, so we'll opt for that. And one more. We don't really have anything to play next turn. We do have Swift Messenger, but perhaps it would be better to play something like Wild Walker to really help get a lot of value out of his hero power. So I will indeed opt for Wild Walker. And to illustrate what I mean by his hero power helping us almost more than it helps him, let's go ahead and make this trade. Oh, my apologies, this minion did not actually die. I suppose we should just attack that then. Okay, we see a Rat Pack come out, and he chooses to kill our minion, which will buff, minions on both sides. Entrenchment is very helpful, but it does kind of mess up your calculations if you're doing things quickly. It didn't work for us last time because our minion didn't actually die because it had 3 health. So my apologies on that, quick little math mistake there. This is 8 and 2, and it has Rush, so all that we could do is either have it die into this, or kill one of these spiders and have it die next turn. I actually want to play Swift Messenger at a time when it is 2 and 8 to get the most value out of it. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and trade into this. Really spawning a lot of minions on his side. And then we're going to go ahead and use our Unleash the Hounds. And how can we most effectively do this? Let's see, adjacent minions. Let's take out this. And then just kind of focus on things near the end. I think that'll do just fine. Alright, so it allows 4 of our little dogs there to survive, and 2 of them are 2/2. Spreading Madness, deal 9 damage randomly split among all characters. That will almost definitely take out all my little dogs. Oh no! It will actually buff it up to a 5/1. And he has no way of dealing with that, so rather than making this trade, we're definitely going face with this, and we even have a way to kill both of these 1/1s. Yeah, let's go ahead and just clear his board rather than trying to give this minion more HP. I think it's a little bit safer to just clear the board, and it should live next turn unless he has another one of those Spreading Madness cards. Go ahead and make that trade and attack face as planned. Okay, Flesh-Eating Ghoul coming out, as well as a Swamp Leech. And we finally have one of these that is 2 and 8. How can we clear the board without losing a minion to Flesh-Eating Ghoul? Doing this definitely seems like a good idea. That would give this 2 attack, not quite enough to clear this out, and it would indeed die to trading into it. We could just summon another little guy though, that's an option. Let's just go ahead and do both of these things. We can... Do we want this to die in order to buff our minions? I think so. Let's go ahead like that. This will now have a lot of attack. And then we can go like that. Our dog will die, buffing each of these minions. And rather than losing 6 HP on this, we're just going to go ahead and send our dog in, buffing it up to 4 attack. We didn't actually have an opportunity to attack with it, but we now have a very solid 4 and 8 minion on board. This trade looks quite appealing. We want to try to kill this in one hit. This trade looks very appealing. We want to try to kill it in one hit because every time we attack it, it's going to restore 4 health to his hero. Ideally, we would want to kill it without actually having to attack it with a minion or a character at all, but we don't really have a way to do that. Let's go ahead and drop a Swamp King Dread, make the trade, and go face. This card should help us out a lot. It has an effect that anytime our opponent plays a card, it will attack it automatically. For example, effect triggers, it gets attacked. And effect triggers, it gets attacked. Excellent. So our card pretty much negated his entire turn. The thing to remember though is that it is a card that whenever your opponent plays a minion, attack it. And so cards like this that states summon a 2/3 giant rat, that's not our opponent playing a minion. That's kind of like the equivalent of sewer crawler playing a minion, right? So we wouldn't actually attack the giant rat that it summons. That's why you didn't see Swamp King Dread go after that. What did happen, however, is Void Terror destroyed the rat, and he, played Void Terror, which our Swamp King Dread ended up taking out. Now we can look at the board and see how much damage we have available. 16 plus 4 is 20, just shy of lethal. Is there any way that we can actually lethal him? I'm not seeing it. So close, so close. Let's go ahead and give this guy a little bit more HP, just so hopefully he can make it through whatever happens next. And let's go face with everything. And I don't believe Ratcatcher has a way out of this one. With 8 mana, he doesn't even play anything, surprisingly. And just for fun, let's summon our old friend King Crush and win the round. Ratcatcher defeated. Alright, after defeating our 5th opponent, it is time to pick another treasure. As always, I try to stay as open-minded as possible, prioritize fun, etc., but Glyph of Warding is one of those treasures that I would recommend you steer away from. It is just so situational. It might be helpful against 1 or 2 of the opponents you could possibly match up against, and since the Witchwood matchups are random, you don't know if it'll be useless or only used once, so either way, not exactly very good. The reason behind that is that the farther into the Witchwood you go, the more likely it is for your opponents just to want to play these really big high cost minions and stuff like that, and having them cost 1 more just isn't really all that important. You might get the opponent that loves to use echo cards, and that's where it could really be helpful, but it's just not very good. Crystal Gem is very good for getting tempo, definitely an option that's on the table, and companionship, Bloodhounds have +2 attack. Definitely something to consider as well. I think an extra mana crystal is quite important in order to try to finish up our quest ASAP. So let's go ahead and take Crystal Gem here. And let's see if we can get any more 5 attack minions. That's a 5 attack minion, and Call of the Wild is a solid card. Let's check out the second category. Jungle Panther, Stoneskin, Carrion Drake. None of these are 5 attack. Probably not going down this path. And another Stomp. Recruit 2 minions that cost 4 or less. Interesting. The idea there is that, this costs 0, we get a taunt, and we get to recruit some stuff. Another King Crush. I think we'll just, go deep into the Stomp category. The other 2 options were really looking subpar, so. Alright, and we head into the next round against Forlorn Lovers. I'll be with you again soon, my love. I wonder what this spectral person loves, or who this spectral person loves. I'm not really up to date on Hearthstone lore, to be honest with you. Anyway, let's quickly check and see what the passive is here, or what the hero power is, excuse me, which is a passive hero power. Whenever a friendly minion dies, shuffle a copy into your deck. Pretty much just means that we are never going to be able to fatigue this person, so let's just go ahead and concentrate on bringing that HP down to 0. In light of that, we're going to try to get board control right away by playing the bat, and I kind of derped there. I forgot that we got an extra mana crystal. We should have definitely used one of these cards. Anyway, just shy of having enough attack to finish it off. We could summon a 1/1 and trade everything into it. Let's see what kind of cards we get with Brass Lantern. Deal 1 damage would be quite neat. The thing is though, do we want to send this back into her deck? That will let her play it again, take even more cards away from us. If we leave it on the board, she can't kill us in one attack either, so we would be able to push a bit of damage. I'm kind of in the camp of ignoring their side of the board as much as possible, unless it really makes sense to make a trade. So in light of that, let's go ahead and grab King Crush to start. Death Rattle minions in hand, we have none, so let's take Druid of the Fang, because we don't have a 5-drop so far. And perhaps another King Crush, sure, since we are trying to run down the HP there. Let's go ahead and summon a Hound, I suppose. Let's hold off attacking, even though we could have attacked and still not died. Let's just try to keep all our minions as healthy as possible to push damage constantly. We see her use Nourish in order to get some extra mana crystals, and Cold Light Oracle. This really shows the point of her deck in that she wants to remove a ton of cards from our deck and then force us to draw, possibly making us burn cards. You see that we have 9 cards in hand, so we really have to make sure that we get rid of some of these, and she will never run out of cards, so she is trying to fatigue us. We have to bring her HP down to 0 before that happens. Let's go ahead and play Jungle Giants. In addition to... do we want to Hounds against only 2 cards? I am worried about burning cards, so even though it is a little bit inefficient, let's go ahead and do so. And go face with everything. It might seem like a minor amount of damage, but until she clears my board, this will really add up over time. And it's difficult for her to do so because a lot of her cards only deal 2 damage. That Rogue Secret is very likely to be Evasion. Let's go ahead and see what it is with our 1/1. Or rather with our 1/3. It is not, okay. Let's quickly trade with... I'd rather her draw this card than this one, just so we don't burn any cards. And the secret triggers, it is Cheat Death, which will return it to her hand. Not a huge deal. So we are going to be drawing 2 cards next turn, so we want to get rid of 1 more. Let's go ahead and play Druid of the Fang, which will become a 7/9, and then we go face, which is our strategy. Face, face, face. Cold Light Oracle, as expected, making us draw cards. Hopefully she doesn't have a second one. Ooh, and destroy a minion. An excellent Vilespine Slayer. That's rough. And we also saw an early Spider, showing the strength of Faldori Strider. She already managed to draw one of those. We now have 6 mana. Let's see what we can do. Wild Walker is an option. 8 and 2. It'll get easily taken out next turn. Then we have a 6-drop. Choose a friendly beast. Summon a copy of it. Fiery Beast is probably not the minion that we want to summon a copy of. So in light of that... And do we have Death Rattle minions? Again, we don't have Death Rattle minions, so it's hard to get value out of Forlorn Stalker. Let's go ahead and give a friendly beast some health. Let's do it to our Rush minion though, because we actually want that one to die eventually in order to use its Death Rattle. So with a 1/6, it makes sense to make this trade, because it can't attack heroes this turn anyway. And then we go ahead and go face again. We have 9 cards in hand, probably going to be burning some stuff here, as you see. Another spider comes out, unfortunately. We're going to have to start addressing the board as these spiders are adding up. Houndmaster would have been quite nice to give one of these minions Taunt. A very unfortunate card to have lost. Okay, how can we get rid of as many of these cards as possible? 3 and 4 seems fine for 7. Mostly just so we can, clear out our hand here. No Death Rattle minions, unfortunately. And this has Rush, so we do have to make a trade. We're going to go ahead and go for the highest attack minion that we can kill. This one could possibly be healed back up to 4 HP, whereas this one caps out at 2 HP. So we're going to select Spine Slayer over this one. A consideration can also be made, you know, which card you want her to have, you know, potentially back in her hand, but I'm kind of more concerned about the board right now. I don't believe she has any healing cards anyway, but you never know. And in terms of what to take out, go ahead and, how much damage does she have? 5, 7, 11, 15, 19. That is pretty brutal, so let's go ahead and trim that down. Take out a spider over Faldori because we don't want her to get even more spiders. She opts for the Naturalize on the 4/4, forcing us to draw even more cards, losing some of our big minions there, and even more cards. Proving to be a tough deck against the kind of stuff that we've built here. We now have 5 cards remaining. The quest is, you know, pretty much worthless at this point. Even if we use it, we won't have any cards to play at 0 mana. Hunting Mastiff would have been perfect. An extremely tough one to lose there. Go ahead and play this, as well as a taking out 4 damage on their side, and ending our turn. 6, 9, 11, 13. Abomination actually helps us out quite a lot. It'll really buff this minion. Oh, he puts Abomination back. Battle cries trigger twice. Okay. I don't believe we have a second Houndmaster, although that would be great. Let's see what we have here. Summon a copy of it. Adapt and then adapt. Taunt and recruit. 3 and 7. So if it had 7 HP and we were able to take out 4 damage, it would have 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 14. So it would be able to take that out. We could attempt a Volcanosaur and get a taunt. One of the riskier ways to go about this. Because if we don't get taunt, then that would be GG. So let's go Grizzled Guardian here. As well as Swamp Leech. And take out as much damage. Or do we want to get rid of Battle Cry? Battle Cry may be even more important to take out. So we'll go ahead and do so. Corrupting Mist, so that will clear the board, but losing this dragon is going to be a bit rough. We could, however, summon a copy of it. Deal 2 damage to all characters. So we could clear this, and then this would have 24 attack. Is there any way that we could damage it? Unfortunately not. I do like the idea of pushing 24 though. Definitely great. Summoning a copy of it is also appealing. 24 would leave her with 12 HP remaining. That makes King Crush quite appealing actually. Let's go ahead and Volcanosaur, see if we can get another taunt hopefully. And we do. Excellent. And then Divine Shield is likely the most helpful, followed by another Adapt. You can't Stealth and Taunt at the same time, so we're just going to go ahead and grab Attack as it's our only option and push damage. All of those minions that were previously corrupted are now dead, and she has 12 HP remaining. Dory Strider comes out, more spiders on the way. Oh, a spider just literally being played, and a gnome for Atu. We are now out of cards, Swamp King Dread being our last card. Luckily though, 8 plus 3 is 11. We need 1 more damage, which can be found in King Crush. We go ahead and go face with all this good stuff, and King Crush is the last piece of the puzzle. A very close game, a difficult deck for Houndmaster, in my opinion, but with some intelligent plays, we managed to take the win. Alright, and after defeating our 6th opponent, it is time to pick some more loot. First category is Divide and Conquer. A lot of web spinners going on, adding random beasts to our hand. Interesting, but doesn't really synergize with Quest, which we haven't been able to use once yet. We have another Stomp, 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 Witching Hour, and another 7 drop. Oh, okay, and go for the throat. Some board clear and a rush minion. Let's go all in Stomp, Stomp, Stomp. And we're on to our 7th challenge, Face Collector. Yours would be a marvelous addition to his collection. Oof. Face Collector, a new face, 0 mana, transform a minion into a random one that costs 2 more. And he can do that to our minions as well. This should be interesting. Face Collector is either really easy or really hard. If you see the right card draws and all that good stuff, he can be rather easy, but Face Collector has frustrated many people, to say the least. And if you get a little bit unlucky, he can be among the hardest. I think that a hero, or an opponent rather, by the name of Azalina Soul Thief is the most difficult. The second one would probably be an unfortunate draw against Face Collector, so we'll see just how difficult he proves to be. Okay, so we don't exactly get the best mana curve here, but we can always quest into hero power and be just fine. And we draw a 2-drop but have nothing to use it on, so we'll choose to hero power first. And it would be great if he, uses hero power on my person. No problem there. Oh, he has a brass lantern of his own. What do you know? He has good taste. And he does it to his own minion. Okay. We don't have to deal with that pesky death rattle then. And with 3 mana, let's go ahead and use our jungle giants, adapt a beast. Why not clear the board? With 3 mana, he opts for a Swamp Leech that he got from Brass Lantern, followed by Hero Power, making it a Metal Tooth Leaper. Wow, look at that graphic. That is terrifying. Like a mech version of a tiger or something. Oof. Would not want to deal with that. Go ahead and drop our Swift Messenger and clear board again. Kill command comes out, dealing 3 damage. Must be against our Crackling. Yep. Crackling Razor Maul defeated by kill command. Not a huge deal. This is not a beast, so we don't want to do this yet. We want to summon a beast and then do this. Get a little bit of damage in, end our turn. Play on curve, use all 5 of our mana. Things are going smoothly. And the first legendary comes out. What is that? Oh, so it's Temporis because it was summoned through hero power. Summoned isn't the right word, because it was created through his hero power. Its battle cry does not take effect. Otherwise, we would have 2 turns and then he would have 2 turns, but it does not take effect. It's just a 6/6. Prior to that, he played a Druid of the Fang, which did not transform because he didn't have any beasts on the board. Now we have 6 mana. We can choose a friendly beast and summon a copy of it, which means this. Not at the top of my priority list. Plus 2 attack and immune would be 3, 5, and then that would be 6. I suppose that's fine. Go ahead and put everything into this dragon and keep the board nice and clear. And with 7 mana on our next turn, we're going to start to really head towards quest completion and get things going here. Go ahead and drop that. Putting it on the far right as opposed to in the middle so that any kind of deal damage and then hit adjacent minions type stuff doesn't affect our dragon too harshly. Okay, very interesting. So he played a wonderful card, Swamp King Dread, for some reason still went with a new face, giving him a Dragon Hatcher, but it looks like he doesn't have any dragons. This would have been a little bit problematic, but that's what I meant by it can either be really good or really bad. He could have, turned a really bad minion into a Swamp King Dread, or he can do stuff like this, which makes this fight extremely easy, to say the least. Let's go ahead and drop our... actually, let's use Brass Lantern and see what we get. King Crush, definitely quite good. Kind of torn between these, but another... I don't think the game will last long enough for us to do another King Crush. Let's opt for a Druid of the Fang here. And then Witching Hour should be quite nice. After that, let's summon a copy of this also minion. And I was going to go face with this, but the idea of having this double its attack is quite appealing, so we'll go like that and face with the rest of it. He Brass Lanterned a Swamp King Dread. And I wonder if he'll Hero Power it. He Hero Powers the 1/1, a much more intelligent decision there. And let's see what he got. At the end of your turn, give another friendly mech +2/+2. Again, to circle back to my point, this is one of those trivial face collector matchups. I'm not going to have any trouble at all because he's just getting unlucky, honestly. He doesn't have any mechs, so Iron Sensei doesn't really do much. As for this 9/9, kind of tempted to attack it with this just to double the attack. It would put it all the way down to 2 HP though, so we'd have to kill this as well. We could play King Crush and this wouldn't even be able to kill it. Also quite appealing. I think that would be for the best. Yep, so we King Crush. We put 1 more damage into this. We can... let's go ahead and double the attack again. And go face with everything. Because King Crush didn't even die to Swamp King Dread hitting it, it still has its charge effect, so charge away. We see Unleash the Hounds come out, as well as immunity. Interesting. So he chooses to keep a hound alive. And summon a random friendly beast. He only has... oh no, I suppose that card could have pulled Swamp King Dread. He probably should have done Witching Hour first to increase the likelihood of it. Instead, he traded 3 hounds in and then Witching Houred. A definite mistake. Should have Witching Houred and then hounded. Could have got Swamp King Dread back. With that being said, some real quick math would tell us that this is indeed lethal, and Face Collector, the easy version, has been defeated. Alright, so after defeating Face Collector, it is time to choose our last treasure and our last bit of loot prior to taking on the big bad final boss. So we have Surly Mob, which simply states that it'll destroy a random enemy minion, then it goes back into our deck with a bit of a better effect. Pretty solid card, all in all. Pristine Compass, draw a card and add 2 extra copies of it to your hand. They cost 0. Now usually Pristine Compass is difficult to get value out of. I mean, let's say that we use this card and we draw like 2 Fiery Bats or something, 2 on the hunts. Pretty worthless, right? However, in the deck that we built, there's a pretty good chance we're going to draw 2 of these that cost 0, and that would greatly accelerate quest and all that, so Pristine Compass is looking good. We also have Princess about the Death Rattles. We, again, don't have Death Rattles, so it's between these 2 cards. Surly Mob is definitely the safer pick, but I think Pristine Compass could make for a funny moment here coming up in a little bit, so let's go ahead and opt for Compass and get a little bit greedy here. Let's check out our loot. No 5 attack minions here. Oh no, I'm mistaken. Stalking has given us a Stranglethorn Tiger. Could be good. We have some poisonous in here in case our opponent has any minions we struggle to deal with, but a lot of our minions are pretty statted, statted up, so probably don't need poison. We should be covered in terms of dealing with our opponent's board. The second category, companions, we have another Druid of the Fang and 2 more Menageries, which can be good, but those are all very high mana type plays. And then we have exotic beasts, Fierce Monkey, a taunt, another taunt, and another taunt. So this has 5 attack, and we have some low mana taunts involved. I'm actually going to grab exotic beasts just so we can try to survive long enough to really get our deck going here. And it looks like we are up against Glinda Crowskin for our final opponent, who has the passive hero power. While you control a minion, your hero is immune, so kind of works well for our deck. We just have to live long enough to get up to the higher mana, sort of late game stage, and just keep her board cleared. should be easy enough. Seems to be a good matchup for us in terms of the type of deck that we have built. Let's see how it goes.
I've tracked you down at last, Crowskin.
Have you tracked us, or have we lured you here?
Alright, so I wanted to let the dialogue play out. I'll try to do so as much as possible. There's quite a bit during the boss battle here.
I don't like you. My dogs don't like you.
Join our cult. We have had luck around.
Why? Why did you cast your lot with Hagatha?
If you knew her power, Shaw, you'd heal like your dogs.
Seems like everyone has agreed on Hagatha being the one to fear. Oof, can't wait to face her. Huh. What a gimmicky deck. Okay, so playing a lot of cards that are, you know, they have crazy stats and they deal damage to the hero to compensate, but they're immune. Alright, let's go ahead and play everything available to us on curve, all 3 mana. And what do we need here? I suppose a little bit of extra stats would be helpful, mostly for the HP. Hopefully we can take out one more minion with it. Okay. Oh, so it only had 2 HP remaining, but it still dealt 4 damage, causing 4 imps to come out. That's frustrating. This is 2 and 8, so as opposed to just using 1 hero power, we might as well get this on the board while we can. Should have quite a lot of trading value. Okay, let's check that out. She played a card by the name of Crowskin Pact. Transform a minion into Crowskin Faithful and take control of it. Okay, and what is a Crowskin Faithful? Death Rattle, draw a card, shuffle this minion into your deck for 3 mana. Wow, so she does have about 10 less cards than we do though, so fatiguing her is an option. Just have to play around these Crowskins. If she gets like 2 or 3 of these, then fatiguing her will be, you know, near impossible, but a very interesting card, and getting a 6/3 for 3 mana, oof. We don't have any, oh no, we do have a Death Rattle minion. Finally, let's definitely get some value out of that. Go ahead and make this trade because we don't want to be eating 6 damage. Another Crowskin Pact. Hopefully she only has 2 of those. Hopefully. A bit of an awkward turn. Let's go ahead and drop Direhorn though and take out another M. Another Fiendish Circle coming out. Okay. And she already drew the Crowskin. Or I wonder if she already had some in her deck by default. If she already had some in her deck to start out with, then there's definitely no way we can fatigue her. But eventually it'll just be an army of Crowskins, which we should be able to deal with. Go ahead and just drop our huge minion here. And let's take out this while we have the opportunity because it deals 6 damage. And kill an imp. Just trying to keep our HP up for as long as possible until we can, you know, complete our quest, get some big minions out on the board, things like that. I think Swamp King Dread will be extremely good in this matchup. Alright, we have another taunt that we're able to play, and summon 2 saplings. Let's go ahead and do so. So he now has 4, 5, 6, 7, so he has exactly enough damage to take that out if he chooses to do so. And he does. Quite effective at clearing the board there. And we see a Hunting Mastiff. Would have been better to have that in hand, but not a huge deal. And a Fury Bat, which is a great pull from that recruit. Let's go ahead and do this. Put this into it first. Hopefully hit one of these guys. Yep. And then let's finish off that. That's because I would rather have, you know, this take the 3 damage than this take the 3 damage, just so it lives a bit longer. And we might as well go like that. And end turn. Another Void Lord. Quite frustrating. he is choosing to, you know, trade with board rather than go face a little bit, so that's helpful. And we have a lifesteal minion that we can summon as well, so let's go ahead and do so, I think. Let's go ahead and drop all of this. I think it's important to keep this healthy for as long as possible, so let's go like this actually. And then attack one that has a lot of HP in turn. At the end of your turn, add a random demon to your hand. Wow. Oh, and Houndmaster. Okay. So with Houndmaster down, we can definitely get them to overdraw. They already have 0 mana remaining, so this will overdraw right here, yeah. Burning the second Cabal, burning a Siphon Soul, wow. Very shocking to see the Houndmaster come out there. They're going to draw 2 more cards, and wow. Maybe we can fatigue them. Would like to give this health for sure, just the lifesteal as much as possible. We unfortunately can't play 2 cards. We are at 3 out of 5 though, so rushing completion could be an idea as well. Let's go for that. Poison might come in handy depending on what he plays. I'll go ahead and grab it. And Wind Fury. So 48. Well, can we 48 to the face in any way? 3, 6, 2. Yeah, so we can indeed hit him. See, go like that. Trade that with the 6/6, getting him to burn as many cards as possible. Then we take out the Houndmaster, and that is a whopping 48 to the face. Wow. Oof. Twisting Nether. Yeah. That's frustrating. We are pretty close to finishing this off though. Go ahead and put 8 more damage into him. And turn. And we finally completed Jungle Giants for the first time this whole run. That's kind of ironic. She did have another, you know, basically a Twisting Nether though. And she drew even more cards, so fatiguing Glinda is a definite possibility. She really misplays her deck archetype, it looks like. Let's go ahead and actually get value out of this for the first time. And then we have the option between rushing and giving a beast health. Let's go for that. And entering. I'm so excited to play our first card that will be 0 mana. So excited. 0 mana King Crush. Nice. Perfect. Let's see here. We can trade that, King Crush face is GG, and do this for fun. Oh, we have to click stuff. Alright, so 4 and trade to the face. That is the Witchwood defeated with Houndmaster Shaw. I hope this helped. We had 2 relatively easy matchups. Glinda can be frustrating, but because of the way we built our deck, it just so happened that Glinda was the most favorable final boss for us to face. And Faceless Collector is usually way more difficult. I'm sure if you do a little bit of searching, or perhaps that's how you found this video, you can run into situations where on turn 1 he plays a 1-drop and then he uses his hero power on it, which makes it basically a 3-drop. If you can't deal with it that turn, he'll hero power it again. It's a 5-drop on your turn 2, a 7-drop on your turn 3, and it's like, what are you supposed to do, you know? But if you're able to kill his minions before he can transform them too many times, then you should be in the clear. At any rate, I hope this video helped. Feel free to check out the other Witchwood guides if you'd like. I have made one for every character, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Oh, before I let you go, be sure to check out the deck list here. We pretty much just went Stomp, Stomp, Stomp every time though, if I'm not mistaken. And then as far as passives go, we picked up Crystal Gem, Entrenchment, and Brass Lantern. And then I believe we just went Stomp, Stomp, Stomp every time. Cheers!